We've just had a great sail up and around Cape Wrath, which is the most northern point of mainland Scotland, and we're on our way up to the Shetland Isles. Whether you're new to the channel or you've been watching our travels for a while, then we welcome you to join us at Sailing Here Ife. In this episode we find ourselves on the Isle of Orkney, where after a long day across part of the North Sea yesterday, we're now going to go ashore and stretch our legs around the town of Stromness. The town's the second largest in Orkney, and here, like the rest of the archipelago, has very strong connections with Norway. And while walking around the winding flagstone streets doesn't quite feel like Scandinavia, it certainly has a very different vibe than the rest of Scotland. Historically, this was a very significant and busy staging post for trading, whaling and even Arctic expeditions. Although this port town's now relatively quiet, one of the main attractions for tourists are the numerous archaeological sites in the area, and that's where we're heading off today. We're on our way to probably the most well-known of them all and heading 5,000 years into the past to the neolithic settlement known as Skara Brae.
In the winter of 1850, a fierce storm battered the Orkney coast, uncovering the remains of this ancient site. The locals were astonished to find a well-preserved prehistoric village beneath the sand dunes. Subsequent excavations revealed a cluster of stone-built houses complete with stone furniture, hearths and even a primitive sewer system.
Located here on the Bay of Skaill, this ancient village, often referred to as the Scottish Pompeii, offers a fascinating glimpse into life over 5,000 years ago. The remains they left behind clearly show that the inhabitants of Skara Brae were skilled farmers and fishermen. They grew crops, kept livestock and harvested seafood from the nearby coast. They created tools and ornaments from bone, stone and antler, and inside the homes the stone beds, cupboards and dressers they built are still visible today, showcasing their ingenuity and craftsmanship. This is a scale replica that's been rebuilt of one of the dwellings on the site, though it does have bigger doorways as people were significantly shorter back in the day. But other than the slightly smaller scale of some of the features, like the beds, I can imagine living in one of these houses. I know I've stayed in much worse Airbnbs. Skara Brae was more than just a collection of houses. It was a thriving community for hundreds of years. The villagers shared resources and worked together to survive. The estimate is that the average temperature was probably around 3 or 4 degrees warmer than it is today, and there would have been significantly more forestation in the area and an abundance of sea life to be able to gather vital resources from, so you can see why they depict this spot to live. Today, Skara Brae is a World Heritage Site and offers visitors from around the world a unique window into our prehistoric past that even predates the pyramids of ancient Egypt.
We ready for leaving? Where are we going? Is that your passage planning done? Okay.
Okay, let's slip.
Call seagulls. How fast is he going? Look at that wake. Hold on. Oh. Cheers, mate. He was going quite fast.
We've left Stromness this morning. We're heading through Hoy Sound. We've got 10 knots of wind coming straight at us, but we've got the current going with us. So we've got a little bit of chop. But it's not too lumpy. There's no overfalls, no breaking waves. So we're just heading out in a westerly direction at the moment. We've got some cardinal buoys and there's an experimental wave energy program going on over there. So we need to avoid that. So we're going to wait to put the mainsail up until we're a little bit further out. And then the main's not flapping. As soon as we put it up, we can bear away and hopefully sail north up past the mainland up to Rousay.
Got the main sheet off a bit. What did you see?
Oh, it was a big black fin.
Ooh, like an orca fin. So great. Fin of the fin, I'm so excited.
We've got 9 knots of wind coming from the west. It's quite a big swell today. I would say it's like 2.5 meters plus maybe, but the rolls are really long, so it makes the sailing really quite easy. We've got a knot and a half of current still against us at the moment, but we're still moving along nicely. We're still doing just over 5.5 knots, so we should get to our destination in good time. There is a bit of a tidal gate between the mainland and Rousay that we have to meet, so we don't really get in there too quickly anyway.
Look what I just found. I have to look everywhere because I haven't used them yet this year. Sunglasses! Oh. Do you think it is? Big? I think it's like stationary there, like tied down, because it's not moving, is it? Must be connected somehow. How deep are we? 60 meters. Is that your confused look? What is it? Yeah, it's definitely been there a long time. Is that a drug drop-off box?
Well, we've arrived at the channel between mainland Orkney and Rousay. We're a little bit early. We've arrived about half an hour before slack water. The wind's dropped down to about 5 knots now. We've dropped the sails, we've got the engine on. But just that 30 minutes between the tide turning and being slack water, you can certainly see. So you wouldn't want to get that wrong in any kind of bad weather. So yeah, I don't know if that's coming across quite well enough on the camera, but yeah, even in really quite benign conditions like today, and we've only got like, it's like there's only 2 knots of tide against us, but yeah, that's a
change.
Yeah, it's quite a dramatic change.
That was different.
That was fun.
Really weird how there's just like such a line in the sand. So we was going to anchor in there, but we've changed our mind because there's a huge fish farm and it's a little bit bleak as well. So we're just coming through this little opening which has got a bit of tide. And I'm going over there for the night. Day. Stromness Bay. There. You want me to reverse?
Yes, can do. It's just into idle.
Gosh, the water's clear, you can see the bottom. Well, I'm glad we changed our mind and carried on a little bit further this evening. So we just came a little bit further to Eday and we've picked up a solitary mooring buoy provided by the council in, this is Stromness Bay. So it's just a little buoy on its own. So in the middle of this lovely bay. So it looks like we're going to have a lovely little sunset. Miles is just making my dinner and then we're going to get ready for a early night because we're going to make the jump to Shetland in the morning. So we're going to have to set off at, well, we're going to have to get up at 5 o'clock, set off at 5:30 because if we don't go tomorrow then the wind's going to drop the day after for a couple of days, so it's either stay here or go tomorrow. So I think we'll go tomorrow.
It's 5:30, another reasonably early start. Coffee's on, passage is planned, so we're going to motor up out through the bay this morning. Looks like quite a nice day. We might be in for a couple of showers, but other than that should be good. Should have some fairly good wind as well, beam reached most of the day. So we're just about to slip the mooring and off we go to Shetland. Well, sails are up, engines off, which is always nice. It looks like the sun might actually make an appearance today, which is good. We're currently heading northeast and we'll be passing North Rousay Island in about an hour, hopefully, and then continuing on our journey up to Shetland. Our destination for the day is Levenwick, forecast's still looking good today. Should be on a beam reach pretty much most of the day and be able to enjoy some nice sailing. We're just passing North Rousay now. The wind seems to have settled down a little bit. It was shifting all over the place for a short while, but seems to be pretty consistent now. So we're going to set the Hydrovane up and switch the autopilot off, save on some power. And it's as simple as that. I just put the vane on, adjust it so it's facing into the apparent wind angle, lock the wheel off at the helm and release the pin, and it mechanically steers the boat using the apparent wind angle. Nothing much else to do really at the moment. Just passing the top of North Rousay now, and we'll be clearing the Isle of Isle on our starboard side in about 3.5 hours hopefully. So we'll see you then.
Mel's gone down for a bit of a rest, only for an hour, so I'm up here on my own with the wind vane doing its job. Don't really have to do very much apart from look for whales. It's still sunny. The Fair Isles are just coming up on our starboard side. I don't know if you can see them there, but very pretty. Sails are behaving. Wind's behaving. We've got 12 knots on the beam. We're doing 8 knots speed over ground. So everything's as it should be.
That's us, passing Sunbird Point, the most southerly point of Shetland. It's been a good day sailing. We've got a little bit of current that's starting to come across us now, so we're just heading out, but the current's actually pushing us back over to the west. That's why we're staying quite far away from the cliffs over there, just so we've got an amount of leeway in case anything happens, just a bit of a buffer, safety buffer. There's a boat behind us that came up on the inside and took incredibly close to the shore there. Like I said, like the current had already turned and pushed him really close up to the rocks. So I don't know what he was thinking there, to be honest. But we're all good. We're nice and safe offshore on our way up to a destination up to Levenwick. The survey vessel that we passed in front, I thought it was a trawler when it was coming towards us, but it hailed us on the radio, asked us our intentions, and we passed in front of him quite easily.
we've just had a change of plans, so we've changed course to head in towards the land because we're going to go to a little anchorage instead of Lerwick today because there's somewhere we want to check out tomorrow instead.
Well, that's us anchored nice and safe. Just and just got to fill in the log when it's time for a beer, I think. You okay?
Yeah, good. Just do it, Mark.
Oh, you do it.
Yeah.
Right, well, beer o'clock.